and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to show you my dad's cottage pie from my new book, Gifts from Grandpa. Be showing you how to make my dad's delicious cottage pie, but before I do, if you are new to my channel, then hello and welcome. It's lovely to have you here, and if you like these kind of videos and you want to see more, then I upload every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at 7 AM, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. So as I've just mentioned, today I thought I'd show you how to make my dad's delicious cottage pie. This recipe I've been eating since I was a kid and I absolutely love it. I have written this recipe in my new cookbook, Gifts from Grandpa, which is available on Amazon, and I will link that in the description box below for you, and I will also link the recipe in the description box below for you. But I just want to say that this recipe is really simple and easy. I've already chopped all of the vegetables so we can get started straight away. So here is how to make my dad's cottage pie. So as I just mentioned, I have prepared all of the ingredients before I start the meal. I just find this a really easy way to do it, and my dad always used to do it this way, so I think I've just copied his method really. So the first ingredient that I prepared were the onions. So I've sliced some onions, and I've got some minced beef here as well, and then I've got some butternut squash. And I'm using the butternut squash instead of tomatoes because once the butternut squash cooks, they go all squidgy inside. So it's like having tomatoes in there. And then I've got some carrots, and the butternut squash, carrots and courgette are all to add sweetness. Red pepper, sorry. There's some red pepper there. And that lot is all to basically add a bit of sweetness to the meal. And then I've got some courgettes. You can use courgettes or you can use mushrooms. My dad probably would have used mushrooms, but we prefer courgettes in this house, so that's why I'm using them. And then I've got some tomato puree, that's to thicken and sweeten the sauce. And then I've got some herbs de Provence, that's also to add a bit of flavour to the meat and to the sauce as well. And then I've got some brown rice, that's to thicken, brown rice flour, or you can use corn flour as well. And then I've got some chicken stock, and the chicken stock is to add like a bit of wetness like the tomatoes would have done. And then over here I've peeled and chopped, cubed some potatoes for the mash on top. And I've got some butter to mash with and some oat milk as well to make it a bit easier to mash. You can use any type of milk that you want. You don't have to use oat milk, that's fine. But those are the ingredients, and I'm going to start cooking now. I'm just going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees. The first thing I'm going to do is put a large pan on a high heat, and I'm going to add some oil to the pan. Probably about a teaspoon, maybe a tablespoon, depending on the type of pan that you have. If you have a non-stick pan, then you're probably okay, but I just like to add a bit of oil to this one. And then I spread it around with a plastic brush as well. And then I'm just going to wait for that to heat up now. So the bottom of the pan is just drying out a little bit, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water to the pan. And that should hopefully stop anything from sticking then. So I don't know if you can see that, but the onions have started to become like see-through. That's translucent in chefy terms apparently. So I'm going to put that back in the pan. And what I'm going to do now is add the minced beef to the pan. And I'm going to fry this until it becomes nice and brown. The beef is all browned off now, and what I'm going to do is add the rest of the vegetables. I'm just going to add these in now. Yum, yum. Well, this is going to fill the pan, I think. And then I'm just going to give these, carefully stir these round. If you have got a bigger pan, it might be better than this. I didn't realise this was going to be so small. But never mind, I've done it now. I'm going to fry these until the vegetables become slightly soft. And I'll show you what I'm going to do after that. Vegetables are starting to soften now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 500 ml of bone broth in. The recipe for this I will link in the description box below for you. And if you can't do bone broth, you can also do vegetable stock as well for this recipe. So I'm going to pour this in now. So that's gone in. And then I'm also going to add my tomato puree in. This, as I said earlier, is for sweetness. So I'm just going to add that in now. And then I'm going to add in my brown rice flour, and that's to thicken the sauce. You can use corn flour as well if you can't get rice flour. It's just I'm a bit allergic to all these sorts of things, and I find brown rice flour I'm okay on, so that's why I use it. And then I've got some herbs de Provence as well here. And I'm just going to mix all of these ingredients together. And I'm going to leave these on the hob. I'm going to turn the heat down now. And I'm going to leave this on the hob on a low heat to simmer while I cook off the potatoes. And my dad always used to say the longer you leave the meat to simmer, the more flavour comes out of it. So it makes it a tastier meal. So if you can leave this on the hob for a little while, like on a low heat, then it will make the meal much tastier. Oh, actually, I'm also going to add some salt and pepper as well. So I'm going to add some sea salt to that, just a pinch, and then a bit of pepper. You can add as much salt and pepper as you like, really. I know my family isn't into the salt and pepper, so I don't add too much. Just enough to give it a bit of flavour, that's all. And yeah, that I'm going to leave now, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the mashed potato next. What I've done is I put a large pan of water on the hob, and I brought it to the boil with the potatoes in. And now I'm just going to add a pinch of salt to that, and I'm going to reduce the heat and leave it to simmer for probably about 10 minutes, I'd say. And then I'm going to mash that afterwards, but I'll show you what I'm going to do after these are boiled. So I've removed the potatoes from the heat, and once you pick them up and they fall off easily, that means they're done. So I'm now going to put those through a colander, and then I'm going to mash them. So I put the potatoes through a colander, and now I'm going to mash them. So I'm just going to add those couple of knobs of butter, and then I'm going to add the 100 ml of milk. And I'm also going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper as well. And now I'm just going to mash these together. Mash those until they're smooth. Now I've removed the filling from the hob that's been simmering nicely away while I've been cooking the potatoes. And I'm just going to get a slotted spoon, and I'm going to put the meat in the base of this. The slotted spoon helps the gravy, like the sauce, to drain through, so that you don't get too much, so the potato doesn't become soggy when you cook it in the oven. And then you've got a really nice gravy as well to have with the dish at the end. I'm going to be serving this with beans as well, so there's going to be some sauce with the beans as well. But yes, this looks yummy. So looking forward to this. And as I said, the butternut squash does still feel quite hard at the moment, but once it's in the oven it will start to soften and go squidgy with the oven temperature. So I'm just going to try and get as much meat out the bottom of this pan as possible. It doesn't really matter if you don't get it all, because you can serve it as a gravy later on as well. So I think that's it now. Yeah. So as you can see, you've got a nice little bit of gravy there to serve with your dish later. And then I'm just going to spread the mashed potato on the top now. And this is the bit I love the most, is the mash, I think. I don't know about you. I love creamy mash on a cold winter's day. Nothing beats it, does it? Nice bit of mashed potato. My son really doesn't like mashed potato, I'm quite surprised at that. But anyway, we love it. My husband and I really love it, and my mum is coming over later for dinner as well. And she likes mashed potato, although she likes lumpy mashed potato, So this is the shepherd's pie, and I'm going to put this in the oven now for 25 to 30 minutes. Really looking forward to this for dinner tonight. Finished the pie. It's been in the oven for about 25 minutes, and all I do is wait until the top just goes golden brown like it is now, and that's that done. So that's how you make my dad's delicious cottage pie, and this recipe is in my new book, Gifts from Grandpa, which is available to buy on Amazon, and I will link this in the description box below for you. It's also on my blog, Googie's Kitchen Life, and I will also link the recipe in the description box below for you too. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having this with some homemade baked beans, and I will link that recipe in the description box below for you, and I've also done a video which I will link down there too. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. Do you enjoy eating cottage pie, and what do you like having yours with? I'd love to know, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.